it's Monday. It's weather for Weather Geeks time. We're back in the saddle this afternoon. I have Mr. Mike Joyce with us
Hello, everyone.
this afternoon, and you had a decent enough weekend, I guess. We had some snow yesterday, of course.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of snow. 1 to 2 inches was the general consensus on that one.
It overachieved again a little bit. We've had 2 Sundays in a row now where we've had a system that has a little more punch than we originally expected. But this wasn't a real bad forecast at all. We generally went with an inch. We even allowed, I think you allowed on the air Saturday night for 2 inches. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, a few spots did get 2 inches, including where I live in Boardman yesterday. Real fluffy snow there yesterday afternoon. Very pretty snow.
Oh, definitely.
Very, very picturesque, but it ended up adding up a little bit faster than I thought it would. Mm-hmm. But we're turning the page now, and we've got another system heading our way, and this one's kind of a bigger ticket item than yesterday's snow. This is what the radar looks like, or looked like, at about 2:15 in the afternoon. A lot of this leading edge here, is actually not reaching the ground. This is virga. It's precipitation that's falling into really, really dry air, and it's just not quite reaching the ground. So most of this, the bark is worse than the bite. The real stuff is this out here. It is snowing hard in Chicago right now, and then you run into all sorts of mixed precipitation down here in central parts of Indiana. Let me show you the current observations here. Actually, there's been a little thunder being reported. Check this out. Edgar County Airport there in Illinois, thunderstorm with with sleet around. And yeah, you're getting some sleet in here, some freezing rain mixed in. It's not totally all snow until you get up into here. Actually, there's a lot of lightning symbols on here where some thunder is being reported. The lightning plot doesn't pick up on a lot of it at all. The lightning plot isn't really showing anything, but boy, that's interesting how much lightning is actually being reported. Well, this is a vigorous little system, and it's coming our way for tonight. And we were just talking before we started recording this about the timing of this. What do you like, about 8 or 9 o'clock for the start?
I think so. Maybe a few flurries earlier than that, but it's going to be hard to do. I think it'll definitely after sundown.
Right. So if you have travel plans, if you need to be out and about the rest of the daylight hours, you're fine. You're probably fine for a couple of hours after sunset, even this evening. Sunset's almost at exactly 6 o'clock now, and 6 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock hour, there's still a lot of people getting home from work and running errands, and you should be fine. Mm-hmm. The meat of this comes after that. And what the radar looks like now will be pretty close to what the radar looks like as this moves east. In other words, this mixing down here is going to move kind of due east, and that means it's going to get awfully close to the valley as we head into the night tonight, and we'll talk a little bit more about that precipitation type coming up shortly. But one thing for sure right now, there's plenty of cold air out there for this storm to feed on. It was below zero in a lot of backyards this morning. We're no higher than the mid-20s now, so it's cold out, and we've got
you're sticking around.
That's right, for at least another couple of days.
Right.
Finally, it's going to warm up at the end of the upcoming week. Going to do something a little different here. I'm going to show you. We're going to show you some kind of real technical, geeky weather stuff here, and we'll try to explain it as best we can. What we're looking at here is what's called an atmospheric sounding. And this is something that meteorologists look at to determine what the temperature profile of the whole atmosphere will be like. A lot of times when precipitation moves in, we've got a situation like this where, hey, it might be something other than just snow. And basically to kind of show you what's going on here, the zero, this is all in Celsius, and the zero line goes up like this. So that's the freezing line, 32 Fahrenheit or 0 Celsius. We want you to pay attention to this red line here. That's the expected temperature makeup of the atmosphere this evening at about 9 o'clock as this precipitation moves in. You'll notice down here at ground level where we live, at the bottom of the graph here, we're below 0 Celsius. We're below freezing. But notice how the atmosphere warms. Look at this. As you go up a few thousand feet, a couple of thousand feet in the atmosphere warms considerably up, around 3, 4, even 5,000 feet. And so what you're going to see here is precipitation falling into this layer right here where the temperature will actually be above freezing. And that's a recipe for sleet. Maybe freezing rain, but I think, you've been looking at this maybe a little longer than I have. You think this is mostly sleet?
Probably. It's probably just a little too cold up there for a major freezing rain event like we had a couple weeks ago on the 5th of February. Mm-hmm. Where we were 27 degrees at the surface, yet it was moderate freezing rain out there. I don't think that's going to happen this time around.
Yeah, this is a fairly shallow, warm layer. So again, the layer we're looking at is right here where it actually will be above freezing for a time. in the atmosphere, and snowflakes don't refreeze back into snowflakes. They melt into raindrops and then freeze again, and that's what sleet is, these little frozen drops. So this is at 9 o'clock this evening as the precipitation moves in. As we roll this forward, notice what happens here. That warm layer sort of goes away. So here's 11 o'clock, and now the entire profile of the atmosphere is pretty much below freezing. Again, here's the freezing line, here's the expected temperature, the red line, and all the way up, it's at or below freezing. So our mixed precipitation likely to last, a couple of hours, and then we're going to get into some more hardcore snow. And that's when the worst of, I think, our snowstorm is going to be, is tonight after we're done with the brief mixing, 11 o'clock, midnight, 1 a.m. That's when the worst of the weather is likely to be. And that'll, we'll show you the high resolution rapid refresh model here, and that's kind of the idea that this has. Here's 8 o'clock this evening. Some mixing going on here. The blues, the deep blues, that's all snow. But you see these greens and purples, and the model's picking up on some mixing going on at the start of this. And then as we go forward into the overnight, notice what happens. We get into some of those blue colors. So as I'm leaving tonight, a little after midnight, of course we're on later because of the Olympics.
Right.
It's probably going to be snowing pretty hard. As you come in, you're coming in again tomorrow morning.
We're gonna do some live road reports for WFMJ today, so I'll be on with that. I'll be coming in probably around 1:30 a.m.
Right, exactly. So we're both going to have some tricky drives. I think tonight, midnight, 1 a.m. Most people, thankfully, are not on the roads at that time. But
right,
if
makes it a little easier.
If you're like us, if you work some weird hours, or if you work a job where you're going to be getting off tonight at midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., be prepared for some slow travel. And then here's midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. At this point, I think the steadiest, heaviest of the snow is starting to push out by about 2 o'clock. Now, yes, there will be some snow after this, but it's not going to accumulate as fast. The snow rates are not going to be quite as high. So, I think the worst of the storm overall, the worst of the snow, maybe 10, 11 o'clock through 1 or 2 in the morning. So we'll get a thump of snow for a few hours, and then it won't be quite as bad after that. This is the total snowfall in the rapid refresh model through 2 a.m. This stops at 2 a.m., and this thinks we already have about 3 inches of snow on the ground. Because of the mixing with sleet that's likely to occur for a while at the start of this, 3 inches by 2 a.m. might be pushing it a little bit. It might be closer to 2, but nonetheless, yeah, enough snow to cause some slowdown.
Sure, yeah.
That's for sure. And so our overall forecast tonight is probably for the snow going to be something on the order of 3 to 4. Does someone get 5 out of this? That can't be ruled out, but I think because of the mixing, we're going to have a hard time squeezing out 5 inches out of this in most spots. We're going to be closer to 4, 3.5, 4, something like that. And then here's the European idea. It has about 4 inches worth of snow here, but again, it's the mixing with sleet that occurs at the start factors into what this graphic looks like. So if you subtract some of this because of sleet, the European's probably saying, hey, 3.5, something like that.
Right.
So, that's the overall idea. 3.5, 4 inches on average, what we'll get tonight. Then some melting is going to occur at the end of this week. Last time I worked on Friday, I was pretty optimistic we might see 60 at some point late this week. And then as you took over the weekend, the models, you certainly saw them coming in.
Every day it seemed to be trending downwards.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of things going on here. One, our snowpack getting a little deeper is going to hinder the warm-up somewhat. And two, the core of the warmth just isn't going to quite have the push to get in here quite as nicely. This is Thursday afternoon's high temperature map on the European model. Now, Cincinnati, hey, 65. That's certainly within reach for them. Parkersburg, Marietta, maybe 61, 62. Youngstown, this is Thursday. Mid-40s. That's a lot better than it's been.
Oh, definitely. I'm still looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And those of us who are tired of trudging around in the snow, we're going to see some of that finally starting to melt. But yeah, not quite as warm as maybe we thought initially. That's Thursday. Here's Friday. Friday afternoon, a little spike of warmth ahead of our cold front. So we might push 50 that day, hopefully. That might be our warmest day. Behind that front, it might have a hard time recovering. Here's Saturday. European has 41 degrees. Here on Saturday for a high. So, yeah, it doesn't look quite as nice as it did a few days ago, but hey, we'll take it. It's been a long winter. It's been a long time since we've strung together 3 straight days where it's even above freezing.
Right. It's been a very long time.
It really has. We haven't been above freezing in Youngstown officially since Groundhog Day. So, 50 degrees, it ain't 60, but we'll take it.
Right.
And we should enjoy it because at this point, we were talking about this earlier as well, that the models are definitely hinting towards a cold pattern for the very end of February heading into March.
Right.
Unfortunately. So
Yep.
enjoy this.
Another cold one.
Yeah, enjoy this while we have it, because March might be a real frustrating month once again. All right, that's weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday. You'll see me tonight, 21 News 6, and after the Olympics. Keep you updated on the forecast. Mike will be in with Jess tomorrow morning, WFMJ today, with some road reports. They're going to be on early. They're going to go on the air at 4:30. So if you are up and at 'em early, be sure to check that out. They'll show you what's going on and bring you an up-to-date forecast. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.